Hello everyone, my name is Prakriti P. I am a second year computer science engineering student studying in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, and today I am here to give a presentation on the topic functions of lipids in the subject biology for CSE stream. So today I'll be discussing about lipids, its properties, lipid structure, classification, and I'll also be answering few of the questions which are related to lipids, and then I'll discuss the main topic, which is the functions of lipids, and then I'll conclude my presentation. So to begin with, what are lipids? Lipids can be defined as an organic compound which contains hydrogen, carbon and oxygen atoms, which are used to form a framework for the structure and function of living cells. If we have to give a more detailed explanation, we can say that these are lipids are organic compounds which are non-polar, and they are only soluble in non-polar solvents, and they are insoluble in polar solvents. So they are also insoluble in water because it is a polar molecule. And in human body, these lipids are synthesized in liver, and then these are mainly found in oil, butter, whole milk, cheese, fried food, and also in some red meat. The next topic is properties of lipids. So here are some of the properties of lipids. These lipids are basically a family of organic compounds. They are composed of fats, oil, and they yield high energy, and they are responsible for different functions in the human body. And some of the important characteristics of lipids is that they are oily, greasy, and non-polar molecules which are stored in adipose tissue of body. These are heterogeneous group of compounds, and they are composed of hydrocarbon chains. These have high energy organic molecules and provide high energy for different life process. And these are a class of compounds which are characterized by the solubility in non-polar solvents and insolubility in water. So lipids are significant in biological systems as well, and they form a mechanical barrier dividing the cell from the external environment, which is through the cell membrane. Now I'd like to discuss about lipid structure. As we can see in the diagram, this is in the PDF we can see in the slide. It shows the lipid structure, and the lipids are basically polymers of fatty acids which contain long non-polar hydrocarbon chain with small polar region containing oxygen. And here the lipid structure is explained in this diagram, which contains oxygen, carbon and hydrogen atoms. Classification of lipids. Lipids are mainly classified into two types, and then again they can be classified into another two types, which is first it is classified into non-saphenable lipids, and then saphenable lipids, and they are further classified to polar and non-polar lipids. So non-saphenable lipids are the lipids which cannot be disintegrated into smaller molecules through hydrolysis. These include cholesterol and prostaglandins. And saphenable lipids are lipids which comprises of one or more ester groups, enabling us to undergo hydrolysis in the presence of base, acid and enzyme, which includes waxes, triglycerides and siphonoglyphids and phospholipids. These are again classified into divided into polar and non-polar lipids, which is in which non-polar lipids are triglycerides which are used to fuel and store energy, and polar lipids could be used for forming a barrier with an external water environment and utilized in members. And polar lipids comprise of glycerophospholipids and saphenoglyphids, and fatty acids are the pivotal components of all these lipids. So now I'll be answering few of the questions which are related to lipids. As we can see, the most important question is that how are lipids important to our body? let us know how lipids are important to our body is that they are structural components of each and every cell membrane, and they help in providing energy, and they also help us to us to produce hormones in our body. And lipids are important to our body because they help in proper digestion and absorption of food. They are the most healthy part of our diet, and if they are taken in a proper amount, they also play an important role in signaling. So the next question is that why, how are lipids digested? Lipids are basically digested like the enzyme lipase breaks down the fats into fatty acids and glycerol, then which is facilitated by the bile in our liver. This is how the lipids gets digested. So what is lipid emulsion? Lipid emulsion of means that for emulsion of lipid for human intravenous use, these are also referred as intralipids, which are also emulsion of soybean oils, glycerin, and egg phospholipids. And these are available in 10%, 20%, and 30% concentration. The next question is, how is lipids metabolized? So lipid metabolism involves oxidation of fatty acids which generate energy, and then they synthesize into new lipids which form the smaller molecules. So these metabolism of lipids are associated with carbohydrate metabolism, which is that they are the products of glucose and they are converted into lipids. So then, how are lipids released in our blood? So lipids are basically a medium chain triglycerides with 8 to 12 carbons, which are digested and absorbed in small amount through in the small intestine. And then these lipids, because it is insoluble in water, they are carried through bloodstream in lipoproteins. By lipoproteins, they are basically carried in the bloodstream, and then which are then soluble in water, which is soluble, meaning it can be soluble in water, as they are and they can be carried by the lipids internally. So what are the main types of lipids? There are mainly two types, which is simple lipids and complex lipids. The simple lipids are esters of fatty acids with various alcohols, for example like fats, waxes. And then complex lipids are lipids with esters with fatty acids of with groups other than alcohol and fatty acids, like phospholipids and cephalolipids. What are lipids made up of? Lipids are made up of glycerol molecule attached with 3 fatty acid molecules, and such lipids are called as triglyceride. Now I would like to discuss the main topic, which is the functions of lipids. So what are the functions of lipids? Lipids are diverse and they have many functions, as they are the group of organic compounds that play several crucial role in biological system. And here are some of the functions of the lipids. They help in energy storage, structural compounds, insulation and protection, cell signaling, and absorption of fat soluble vitamins, waterproofing and lubrication, brain function, and nervous system health. So now let me explain each and every function of it in a detailed manner. So lipids, they are particularly triglycerides, and they are the major form of energy. They are the major form of energy storage in organisms. So they contain more energy and per gram than carbohydrates or proteins, or making them more like a long-term energy storage for all the humans and other organisms. So they are like fatty acids which are stored in adipose tissue. They can also be broken down to provide energy during periods of fasting or intense exercise. So lipids are basically helps us to store energy. The second function is that it is a structural components. So lipids are key structural components of all cell membranes. phospholipids, cholesterol, glycolipids. These lipids contribute fluid mosaic model of the cell membrane. They also provide flexibility, stability, and integrity. The bilayer structure of phospholipids forms the fundamental architecture of cell membrane, and also helps in allowing the formation of cellular compartments. Insulation and protection. Lipids serve as a thermal insulators for protecting organs, and the fat acts as insulation to maintain the body temperature, and visceral fat cushions, and they help in protecting the internal organs from physical shock. Cell signaling. Lipids also play an important role in cell signaling, like steroid hormones such as estrogen and testosterone, and they are derived from cholesterol and critical signaling molecules which regulate various physiological processes, and other signaling lipids like prostaglandins and leukotrienes, and they are involved in inflammation and immunity and other cellular response. So now let's come to the fifth important function of lipids, is that it helps us to absorb the fat soluble vitamins. So lipids are necessary for absorption of fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and K. So these vitamins which are dissolved in fat, they are absorbed by intestine along with dietary fats. They play a vital role in vision, bone health, and antioxidant protection and blood clotting. Waterproofing and lubrication. These are certain lipids like waxes, oils. They provide waterproofing and lubrication. For example, sebum, an oily substance which are produced in sebaceous glands in the skin, helps us to keep the skin, hair moist, and they help us to protect our hair and skin from drying out. They it acts as waxes on plants, leaves, and animal feathers to serve waterproof barriers. Brain function and nervous system. So the lipids are critical for, they are also important for brain function and the health of nervous system. So myelin lipid is a lipid which is a rich substance which surrounds the nerve fibers, and they help in facilitating the rapid transmission of electrical signals along neurons. They are the most essential fatty acids like omega-3 or omega-6, which is very important for the cognitive function and overall brain function on the overall brain health. These are some of the important functions of lipids, and we can say that lipids are indispensable, and they are to numerous physiological processes, and they, from energy storage and structural integrity of cell membranes to signaling, protection, maintaining overall health. These diverse roles, they are having a diverse roles which highlight their importance in our proper functioning of biological systems. So now I would like to conclude that the lipids are mainly macromolecules which forms a wide range of vital functions which are very important in our biological systems, and their lifespan is also dominant, and which includes their energy, cellular structure, insulation, signaling, nutrient absorption, and waterproofing, and brain function. They are versatile molecules with help in maintaining cellular integrity and facilitate communication between cells, and it helps in cell signaling and any other functions. So lipids are very important. They are dietary compounds which are foundational for the complex and biochemistry, and which helps us to continue in our life, and it helps the organisms to survive. and it also helps in it plays an important role in health, disease mechanism, and potential to therapeutic avenues. And lipids acts as a central role in biology and medicine. So I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you so much for watching.